In most jobs, a bad day might mean an irritated client or a bit of lost money. But when you're an architect, mistakes can lead to catastrophic consequences, sometimes even death. That's not what anyone signs up for when they enter this field. From office buildings that made workers seasick to a skyscraper with a death ray, here are 15 of the most infamous architectural fails around the globe. 15. Deadly earthquake topples faulty building in Taiwan. Some fails are so devastating that there's little room for humor. In 2018, Taiwan experienced a 6.4 magnitude earthquake that toppled four buildings, killing 17 people and injuring hundreds. Investigations revealed that the structures collapsed because of poor foundation work, which destabilized the building's lower floors. When a building leans dangerously, especially in densely populated areas, it can cause a domino effect, damaging nearby structures. While earthquakes are often beyond human control, sound engineering can significantly mitigate the damage. 14. Basmani Market Roof Collapse, Moscow. Moscow winters are notoriously harsh, with months of snow and ice. So it's surprising that in February 2006, the roof of Basmani Market collapsed under the weight of accumulated snow, killing 66 people, mostly migrant workers. Investigations revealed that the 30-year-old building had suffered years of poor maintenance, a tragedy that could have been avoided with proper care and attention. 13. The John Hancock Tower, Boston, Massachusetts. When Boston's John Hancock Tower was constructed, it became infamous for something rather terrifying: falling windows. On windy days, large panes of glass would break free and plunge to the streets below. In addition, occupants of the upper floors complained of severe motion sickness due to the building's sway. Eventually, all 10,344 glass panels were replaced, and engineers installed tuned mass dampers to stabilize the structure. Despite its shaky beginnings, the Hancock Tower is now considered one of the safest skyscrapers in the world. 12. Kemper Arena Roof Collapse, Kansas City. In an almost comically ironic twist, Kansas City's Kemper Arena hosted an architecture convention the day before its roof collapsed due to heavy rainfall. The architect who designed the arena was at the convention receiving an award for the very design that would fail the next day. Remarkably, no one was hurt despite the massive structural failure. 11. The La Concorde Overpass Collapse, Montreal, Canada. In 2006, a section of Montreal's De La Concorde Overpass collapsed without warning, killing several motorists. The incident followed reports that the overpass was deteriorating, with some drivers claiming they could see through the structure's cracks. Despite the warning signs, no action was taken until it was too late. Built in the 1970s, the overpass was expected to last 70 years, but barely made it to 30. 10. Lotus Riverside Apartment Collapse, Shanghai, China. In one of the more bizarre architectural disasters, a 15-story apartment building at Lotus Riverside in Shanghai toppled over in 2009, almost intact. The cause: excavations for an underground parking garage destabilized the building's foundation. Amazingly, only one worker died in the incident, as the building had not yet been occupied. 9. Tacoma Narrows Bridge Collapse, Washington, USA. Footage of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge twisting in the wind has become legendary in architectural circles. Known as Galloping Gertie, the bridge swayed alarmingly during construction, but engineers pressed on. In November 1940, high winds caused the bridge to twist and flap violently before collapsing into Puget Sound. The disaster highlighted the importance of balancing cost and stability when designing large structures. 8. Ronan Point Tower Collapse, London, UK. In 1968, a gas explosion in London's Ronan Point Tower caused a progressive collapse that destroyed several floors of the building, killing 4 residents. Just months old at the time, The building's design was found to be flawed, and the explosion could have been triggered by something as simple as a strong gust of wind. This tragedy led to stricter safety regulations for high-rise buildings in the UK. 7. Ong Center's failing marble, Chicago, Illinois. The Ong Center in Chicago was intended to be an architectural marvel with its sleek marble-clad exterior. However, the marble began to crack and fall, endangering pedestrians below. Eventually, the building owners replaced all 43,000 marble panels with sturdier granite, an expensive but necessary solution. 6. St. Francis Dam disaster, Los Angeles, California. The 1928 collapse of the St. Francis Dam was one of the deadliest civil engineering failures in U.S. history. A reservoir designed to supply water to Los Angeles collapsed shortly after it was declared safe, sending a 140-foot wall of water down the valley and killing over 400 people. The disaster highlighted the dangers of cutting corners in construction. 5. South Fork Dam collapse, Johnstown, Pennsylvania. In 1889, the South Fork Dam near Johnstown, Pennsylvania, failed after being modified by a private club. The dam's collapse released 20 million tons of water, killing over 2,200 people in the Johnstown flood, one of the worst disasters in U.S. history. 4. I-35 West Bridge collapse, Minneapolis, Minnesota. In 2007, during rush hour, the I-35W bridge in Minneapolis collapsed, sending 111 vehicles into the Mississippi River. The collapse killed 13 people and injured 145. Despite the bridge being within acceptable wear and tear limits, a design flaw caused the failure, leading to a nationwide reevaluation of aging infrastructure. 3. Hyatt Regency Walkway collapse, Kansas City, Missouri. In 1981, two suspended walkways in Kansas City's Hyatt Regency Hotel collapsed during an event, killing 114 people and injuring many more. The disaster was the result of a last-minute design change that placed too much stress on the structure, leading to one of the deadliest structural failures in U.S. history. 2. Walkie-talkie building's death ray, London, UK. London's walkie-talkie skyscraper earned notoriety for an unexpected flaw. Its curved glass facade acted like a giant magnifying glass, focusing sunlight into a beam that melted cars and started fires on the streets below. The issue was eventually fixed with the addition of shading to the building's exterior. 1. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, Pisa, Italy. The most famous architectural fail in history, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, began tilting during its construction in 1178. Built on unstable ground, the tower's lean worsened with each new floor. Despite numerous failed attempts to fix it, the tower became an iconic landmark and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. These disasters remind us of the delicate balance between design, safety, and cost. What may seem like a small mistake can have massive, sometimes deadly, consequences.